Does the main sponsor, the Russian Federation, who wishes to make a statement? I give the floor to the Russian Federation.
Спасибо, господин.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Over 70 years ago, the member states of the anti-Hitler coalition, who went on to call themselves the United Nations, achieved a truly historic victory, a victory over Nazism. This was a triumph of the ideals of humanism over the hateful ideology of National Socialism, a victory of the forces of good over the forces of evil, which was reaffirmed by the judgment of the Nuremberg Tribunal. This victory is our common achievement, one that we not only have the right to, but in fact must take pride in. It created the conditions for the establishment of the United Nations, the creation of a global system of international security, the emergence of the main human rights documents, including the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the International Covenants on Human Rights, and the International Convention for the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination. 70 years is not such a long time from the point of view of history. It would seem that living through the horrors of putting the theory of racial superiority into practice and a complete violation of human dignity by proponents of National Socialism would have led to a persistent rejection by the global community of any attempts to justify the crimes committed in the name of fascism and Nazism. However, today we are increasingly seeing ever-renewing attempts to falsify and rewrite history in the name of false political correctness and narrow-minded geopolitical interests. Moreover, certain countries have made the glorification of Nazism part and parcel of their national policies. How else to explain the war declared in the heart of Europe against monuments to the heroic soldiers who fought against Nazism and fascism and won? How else to explain the annual marches honoring Nazis and their collaborators, the Nazi marches with torches that bear such a resemblance to similar gatherings in Hitler's Germany? How else to explain the opening of new memorials to those who fought on the side of fascist Germany or collaborated with it and committed war crimes and crimes against humanity? What about renaming streets and squares to honor Nazis and their collaborators? What about making national heroes and heroes of national liberation movements out of those who fought against the anti-Hitler coalition or collaborated with Nazis? We are convinced that such actions are incompatible with member states' obligations under the UN Charter. Mr. Chairman, the draft resolution presented by co-sponsors addresses highly relevant issues. The global migration crisis, caused primarily by ill-considered policies of interfering in the internal matters of sovereign states, has led to the wide spread of racist and xenophobic rhetoric, calls to get rid of migrants and foreign elements. Such rhetoric has become a part of electoral campaigns and the programs of political parties. Yet, such statements are being justified as an so-called exercise of free speech, which appears downright cynical with regards to the fundamental principles of international human rights law. Mr. Chairman, preserving the historic truth and memory is our common duty. It is our duty not only to those who founded the United Nations, it is our duty to succeeding generations whom the founding fathers of the United Nations sought to save from the scourge of war. Thank you.
I thank the Russian Federation.